Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Sean or Mustang 09 bringing you a new video, and today we're installing more parts on the Mustang. We're gonna do the upper control arm from UPR, and I got my buddy Zach here. He's gonna give us a hand. Then we're gonna get everything started right now. Before we get started though, we're gonna watch a quick video just so we know that we're doing everything the right way, get the tools lined out. Bill's gonna give us a hand with that. You guys know Bill.
Hi, I'm Bill from CJ Pony Parts.
Alrighty guys, when you're gonna install this part, I wanna make sure you're aware of what tools you're gonna need before we get started. Obviously, if you're working on the floor, you're gonna need a jack and jack stands, very key. Next, you're gonna go into the tools. The tools you're gonna need for this install are hammers, a screwdriver or a punch, crescent wrench, a ratchet, breaker bar, torque wrench, and a larger torque wrench to get up to at least 240 foot-pounds of torque. Sockets, you're gonna need an 18 mil, 21, 24, 27, and then 10 to 12 inches of extensions. We had a 9 and a 3 inch, and also some Loctite to make sure everything's nice and tight and stays in place. I wanna make sure you guys know what tools you're gonna need before the install. That way you don't make 2 or 3 trips to the hardware store like I did, saving you guys some time. If you're a dad like me, then the first step, remove the Recaro baby seat out of the back seat. Once that's out of the way, the next step is to remove the bottom seat of your back seat. You're just gonna pull up on the tabs. To undo the back seat, you just push in on the clamp and lift up. Then we're gonna remove. Weight reduction, bro. All 3 pounds. That exposes this bolt right here. This is the first step of the process to removing this stock upper control arm. So we're gonna get a socket on that and get that bad boy removed. To remove this bolt, 24 millimeter socket. We're gonna try with an impact first. Sucker's on there. That didn't work, so we're gonna use a breaker bar. This is no joke. I know when you have to retorque it, it goes to 240 foot-pounds. And I can tell you, this joker's on there. There we go! Ah! Ah! It's so hot inside the garage, and being in the car is even hotter. Sweating already. Impact. Saved my life. What if we heard a big clunk after that? Big bolt is out. I'm not sure how well you guys will be able to see this, but looking from the back of the car to the front, so this is the Diff, you can see that I have a ratchet in there. Online, those guys used an impact, but mine is not fitting in there. I have no idea how they got it to work. So we're doing it by hand, which works. I was able to break it loose, so now we're going to ratchet it all the way back out and remove the bolt. Huh?
Sounds like an instrument.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a band, like a 3-year-old playing drums.
If YouTube doesn't work out, you can start a band. Oh, Lord.
Watch your faces.
Still spinning.
Bro, how did he get a hammer in there to swing the hammer?
Bill's a liar.
Bill is a phony. Man, Bill, be honest with us, people. Come on. This is why so some people are going to ask why you make the same video if you can Google it or find it on YouTube from somebody else. Because they're using lifts. They're preparing it ahead of time. It's just not reality. This is real right here. This is like Jersey Shore real. Somehow I've got to fit this up there and whack it out of the way. So I've resorted to a smaller hammer, small screwdriver, and I'm able to get it in there and knock it through. Ta-da! Now that we got that bolt out, there are 2 more. When you're under the car looking straight up under the diff, they look like this, they spread apart. Those are the 2 that hold the mount to the car. Once those are out, then we'll be able to pull the whole upper control arm mount out. So we got this side. It's hard to tell, guys. I apologize. See if you can see my hand up there. You can see that bolt is removed right there, and then now there's another one on the other side we're going to go remove.
Am I loosening it or tightening it? Yeah, definitely was tightening it. Mother effer, dude. I hate that. I do that all the time. Much easier this way.
Imagine that.
Dude, I was like, I'm going to break this thing off. I'm going to be hosed. Anybody that wants to sponsor me with Lyft, plenty of room in my garage.
Yeah. Been packed.
Bring it. KC, if you're watching this, I'm calling you next time, bro. I'm coming to your shop. Oh, speaking of KC's having an open house May 27th, look it up on Facebook at KC's Paint Shop, I think, is the page. I'm definitely going to go out there for that. It's going to be a sick time. Sweet. We're going to lower the diff and see if we can get this thing out. It's falling down in there. It's in there somewhere. Alrighty, Zach was able to finagle this thing out of there some crazy way. So now we have the factory unit, and I'll turn this around so it's identical to the awesome looking UPR unit compared to this. So the next thing we have to do is take this arm off of the mount so that we can measure the stock arm to meet the aftermarket arm. Now I know some of you guys are going to question, why would you just leave it as stock? Because that's a good starting point to measure the pinion angle, and then from there we'll see if we need to make any adjustments to this and lengthen it or shorten it to get that angle just right. If I remember right from online, they're saying 2 to 3 degrees on a manual transmission car is where you want to be on your pinion angle. So we're going to take this apart right now. Yeet! Boom! Stardust hooked it up. They let us use their air tools, broke it apart like it was nothing. So if you're in Mansfield, Arlington, Fort Worth, come see these guys. They used to change out like all my drift spares and everything. Super nice dudes, great prices. They'll hook it up. Now we have to take the aftermarket one, put it next to the stock one, and make sure they are the right length. So what we're going to do here, run the extension through this one and through the aftermarket one, or the UPR one I should say, because UPR hooked it up, and check to see that they're the same length. Okay, so we have the extension back here through these holes, so we know that these holes are even, and then we put the stock bolt through the stock mount, or through the stock arm, and it goes through the UPR arm. So that way we know it's lined up here and it's lined up there, so it's going to be pretty close to matching. Now we're going to tighten these down so that it doesn't move anymore, and mount this into the UPR upper control arm mount. Just going to tighten it down real quick just to make sure that this thing isn't going anywhere. Okay. Once again, remember the flat part goes on the top and the grease fitting wants to go on the bottom, so that this is going to sit up there, then this will mount in the mount. So in theory, it'll mount like this. You'll have the bolt, the washer, then the washer on the inside with the little piece pointing towards the mount. Same on that side, washer, nut. This one goes on just like that. Like any install, something's probably not going to go your way, and we had that situation come up for us. The bolt and the nut that mounts the arm to the mount is both sides are 27 millimeters, and I only have one socket that is a 27. So we had to run to Lowe's and pick up a bigger crescent wrench, just adding more tools to my collection. I decided to go with the crescent wrench rather than another socket, because when am I going to use 27 mil sockets at the same time again? Hopefully not ever again. So now that we have that in, we're going to get this tightened down, and then we'll be able to reinstall everything back into the car. So when you're installing this in the mount, you want to make sure that the arm can still move about, because it's not going to be in one spot under the car. It does need to have movement to it, so don't over tighten it, don't over torque it. Now that this is together, it's going to install in the car like this. Two things you want to make sure of: the box goes to the bottom of the car, actual bottom part of the car, and that the grease fitting points down to the ground. That way when you can go in and grease it up so that it's not going to be squeaking, or that you can lube it up when you need to. And it'll mount back like that. Train. All right, it's really dark under here, so I apologize for that. We fished the mount through, and we have the bolt that goes through the top of the diff onto the control arm. And then we were having a hard time getting the mount to line up to the factory holes. And then Zach had the great idea that we did lower the diff a little bit, and so it wasn't letting it line up. Once you jack the diff back up, everything's lining right up. So now we're gonna put the two short bolts that hold the mount to the car in right now. When reinstalling those bolts, go ahead and put some Loctite on them. Now that they're in, we're gonna torque them down to 85 foot-pounds of torque.
Freaking Bill.
Come on, Bill.
Hi, I'm Bill from CJ Pony Parts.
At least your controller look nice.
Dude, my controller's like money, dude. Shout out
you.
UPR. In the video, Bill says 129 foot-pounds of torque. How he managed that, I have absolutely no idea. We did torque it down to the German setting of good and tight, so it is good and tight right now. I am going to come back and check it after I drive some miles on it and make sure everything is still really tight down here. Now we're moving on to the top bolt that goes down through the car. Moving to the inside of the car, this is the factory bolt. You won't use that. You're going to use the one UPR supplies. So we're going to drop a little bit of Loctite on this one, just like the other bolts. Screw that back on. So Loctite on there, drops down into here, and we'll tighten it. I'm going to hit it with the impact, and then this one has to be torqued down to 240 foot-pounds of torque. That's so much.
It's almost as much as like a stock.
Dude, I feel like I'm going to pull the console out. Did I just do that, bro?
Yeah.
240.
That wasn't near as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Because I'm strong, homie.
Shut up.
That's what it is. I'm ripped. And it's in. One last thing. I can't forget Miss Shirley's seat. I'll be in trouble. Alrighty guys, now that we're done installing all the pieces, seats are back in, we want to measure the pinion angle, and this is going to wrap up the install. And this is the most crucial part of the install and the whole reason why you put this piece in. We have a protractor app on the phone. This should get us pretty close to where we need to be. So we're going to first measure on the drive shaft, hold it flat, and we're getting a reading of -1 or of 1. And then over here, a reading of 4. So when you subtract 4 to 1, you're going to get -3. And on a manual transmission car, that's right in the specs. You want it between -2 and -3 degrees. So we're good to go. Now you guys know we can't just install a part on a Mustang without test driving it afterwards. So we're going to go do that right now and see if we can maybe tell a difference. Initial thoughts are it seems to be a little more stiff in the rear, which is a good thing, what we want. I haven't really gotten to do like a stopping and going, so we're gonna try that now. We're gonna turn around and see, and then also kind of do like a little roll and pull and see how it feels. Try and do a little stop and go action right quick. there good. Woo! Let's do a little mid-gear pull right quick. That felt solid. Feels so good. I'm so happy to be back in the Mustang right now. Can't wait to take it to the track. Man, that GoPro footage turned out so sick. If you guys are interested in any of the parts you saw me put on the Mustang in this video, I'll put a link in the description to UPR's website where you can pick these exact same parts up for your Mustang. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to hit the like button. If you've got a question about the install or maybe some of the tools we used or just anything about the video, leave that in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit subscribe. Much more stuff coming to this car and also my ST in the near future. So I want to thank you once again for watching, and we look forward to seeing you back here next time. Take it easy, boys.